Hello, it has been long time. It's your boy, back again. I have a crap ton of videos that I just have not had the time to upload, but we here. And as you guys know, on the channel, mainstay is predicting tournaments, predicting like a Royal Rumble stuff, all that good, wonderful, stuff that has to do with the world of wrestling. And as you know, 2018 Dusty Rhodes Classic has been announced. Now, I will get into what we're going to be doing for this video. But first, we're not alone because I want to avoid bias if possible. So here with a good friend of mine, and that is that boy, Shadow Weavy, aka Drake.
Hello.
Awkward silence. I was waiting for you to say something because I kind of interrupted you. My apologies.
Oh, it's fine. Hello. I'm just here to help out Major and share ideas with him, and not to let Major be biased about half of this.
Yeah, because there's, as you can see on your screen, there are, I mean, I like all of these tag teams, but there are two tag teams in particular. They're actually in my top 3 favorite tag teams in all of wrestling. So what we're going to be doing, so as you could probably guess, we're going to be saying what we want to be the end result of this. End result of this is the winner gets a shot at the NXT Tag Team Championships. Unfortunately, recent news says that Bobby Fish ended up getting injured at the Indianapolis show, house show that I think they're doing tapings. I'm pretty sure they're doing tapings. I don't know if it's tapings or house show, but I would imagine it's probably just a house show, where he came down on his knee and he got injured. So hopefully that doesn't, it's, just a minor injury that he can work through it, and then they can take, a month or 2 off, let him really heal before, they go full time again. But that would suck. But long story drawn out, the winner of the 2018 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic will get a shot at the Tag Team Championships at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Yeah, it's New Orleans.
Yes, it's New Orleans.
It's in the same city as WrestleMania, and WrestleMania is always in New Orleans or Miami. So yeah, I'm gonna be swapping back and forth, but we're obviously gonna start with yours truly because my channel. We're gonna be going through and saying what we want to, who we want the winner to be, and the path for each team. The first team, or the first match we're starting off with, I don't know how exactly they're gonna go, but in the next couple of weeks, at NXT, this tournament's gonna be going on. So, match 1 is the Street Profits versus Heavy Machinery. We have, working hard, believing in yourself, always, doing whatever you can. Ignore that at the very bottom. I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting my friend to go live on Steam right now. But we have Wakes and Steaks versus Drinks and Parties. I don't know. Wakes and Steaks has much more of a ring to it than Drinks and Parties, but that's kind of what they're about. I personally really love both of these tag teams, but I will go with the more entertaining of the two, and I will go with the Street Profits. I really want them to have good things, and I think if they have a good, strong showing against a dominant team like Heavy Machinery, maybe they get a roll-up victory or something. But the crowd is firmly behind the Street Profits. They should not, in my opinion, they should not eat a loss here at Heavy Machinery in the first round. Drake it is your turn. Why don't you tell us your thoughts on Street Profits versus Heavy Machinery and what you would like to happen, not necessarily what you think will happen.
I would like for Heavy Machinery to win over the Street Profits just because I feel like the Heavy Machinery is a very dominant team in NXT, and they haven't been on air that much as they've been showing. And I feel like the Street Fighters, it's not Street Fighters, Street Profits, my bad, hasn't like pulled me in that entertainment. Hasn't like said, wow, this is like best team in NXT. Hasn't done that for me yet. So I feel like Heavy Machinery should get this one. I'm fine if it doesn't. Like, I can see like either or winning.
Yeah,
but I feel like Heavy Machinery should win.
I think in terms of performance, Heavy Machinery, like, I mean, Street Profits have been in pretty much only squash matches, except for when they faced Tino Sabatelli and Riddick Moss. We'll get to them later. Heavy Machinery has been a dominant tag team. You know, they've pretty much, I think they faced a team and one of these teams and lost. I don't remember who. I want to say, yeah, I want to say probably Authors of Pain. But that's understandable because they're the fucking Authors of Pain.
Yeah.
That being said, Heavy Machinery is the better wrestling tag team. Street Profits is the more entertaining tag team. So I understand where you come from. In a pure competition standpoint, I agree with your decision on Heavy Machinery, but from entertainment, the Street Profits are really funny. The very first time I saw them, Montez Ford, like, knocked someone down, and then he, like, looked at the ropes, put his eyes in the back of his head like he was Undertaker, and then, like, did some, like, jiggle weird stuff like he was, like, feeling himself and, like, jizzing in his pants. It was the funniest thing I've seen in a long time, and ever since then, I've been the biggest fan of Street Profits. So, fair enough. We're going to scooch on over to the next match in the round of one, being TM61 and Authors of Pain. Authors of Pain are kind of on the downward spiral. They're probably going to be called up to Maine after WrestleMania. I don't really think... A lot of people in the community really think Authors of Pain are going to get this big send-off, and I think that's possible. But, that being said, we have a match between the two teams that made it to the finals of the last Dusty Rhodes Classic. Obviously, TM61 got injured halfway in the semifinals during that original Tag Team Classic and lost accordingly. But if I am correct in saying I think they were going to beat Authors of Pain originally, don't quote me on that, and TM61 has literally just come back. They need to at least make it through the semifinals. And as I said before, I do have two tag teams in here that are my favorite tag teams. And I'm going to go with my heart. And I'm going to say that TM61 pulls up a sort of upset victory over Authors of Pain. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I really feel like that's a thing that could work. Drake, share your thoughts.
I feel like the same. I think like TM61 should get this win. I mean, obviously you say the Authors of Pain. I think if they take this loss right now, Authors of Pain, it won't hurt them that much because looking at their afterwards, they certainly don't really need another shot in NXT. I don't think they need another NXT titles.
And they can go.
Yeah. Go ahead.
They can go into like a program I don't know. They can go into a program at TakeOver. Sorry, interrupted. They can go into a program with like Sanity at TakeOver in New Orleans. And that would be a really, really good match. And that would be a really good send-off for the Authors of Pain. Because I don't think Sanity is going to go up to Maine until SummerSlam or Survivor Series. I would say probably SummerSlam.
I can see some stuff, to be honest. And
But the
his,
authors of pain are definitely going up, like, now. Well, not now, obviously 6 weeks from now, but essentially now.
and I feel like they've done all what they can do in NXT. And I feel like you need to push them up. And I feel like TM61 has the opportunity. You can see to just move up on the rankings once again.
Yeah, and
So-
they would be there. They would probably be former champs by now had they not gotten injured.
Yeah, sure.
My boys. So I'm glad you agree with my boys. Not that I don't like the Authors of Pain, but it's just they just came back. They need the momentum.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that the Authors of Pain are gonna bowl through TM61, which makes a lot of sense. It happened the last time.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna happen again. So
I don't
next
see it happen.
we have Tino Sabatelli and Riddick Moss and Sanity. Like I said with TM61, I could see Sabatelli and Moss getting an upset, but I don't. For this one, I don't think it's gonna happen. Just because I think Sabatelli and Moss need a few more years to really build up their heel characters, and then maybe in a few years you can see Sabatelli and Moss facing maybe the Street Profits for the title. But until then, the homegrown NXT talent like Sabatelli and Moss and the Street Profits aren't. I don't really think they stand. Even Heavy Machinery, I'm pretty sure Heavy Machinery is also homegrown NXT talent. Like right there in the Performance Center. But regardless, I don't think there's any way Sabatelli and Moss are beating Sanity. They're kind of on a losing streak. Their tag team and friendship is kind of crumbling. Moss, the story being Tino Sabatelli always loses them matches. So I don't know. I think actually the tag team will probably break up after this, which really sucks because I think they're the only team that consistently gets booed. People hate them, and it's good. Because they have genuine heel heat, not like X-Pac heat, where they just hate him just to hate him. Or Roman Reigns heat, even though I really hate Roman Reigns too, so I can't really say much about that. Sorry, Roman.
Shame.
But yeah, I don't think Sabatelli and Moss are going through. Drake, thoughts?
I feel like I hope what NXT does is let Sanity to hold the NXT title and be champion, like be tag team. I hope they do it like that because that would have make them to be the top team. I feel like Sanity could very much can just win this match.
Yeah.
I feel like they have everything to win this.
Fair enough. The one thing I will say about Sanity is they're kind of in the same boat as Authors of Pain. They don't really need the titles. They're kind of above them at the moment. That being said, Sabatelli and Moss are not in any condition to defeat basically defeat 4 people is basically what they have to do. Like I said, and I'll talk about this later, I really, really think that Sanity and Authors of Pain are going to go into a program for TakeOver. And you said Sanity hold all the titles at the same time. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're waiting to do that while they don't have a female competitor. I think they're waiting to do that with the Undisputed Era. Just they have to wait a little bit for Adam Cole to really be in an opportunity to challenge, because you have to have a face take it off of El Idolo.
Oh God, like that champion now.
Yeah, I love his entrance music though. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but it's just grown on me because it makes me just want to dance like El Idolo. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I think they're still gonna win, and I think the face it's gonna be a face that takes the title off of Andrade, and
Like
Adam Cole. Adam Cole is gonna take the title off of that person not too long thereafter. So yeah, next, the final round 1 match we have is Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. You know, a good tag team, haven't really won. Then again, they've gone up against people like fucking Lars Sullivan, so what do you expect? He's so massive and his body is so disproportionate. He honestly is a terrifying human being. Versus Mustache Mountain. If you don't know who Mustache Mountain is, educate yourself, because they're one of the best tag teams in the world. They're honestly my 3rd favorite tag team in the world, being Tyler Bate and Trent Seven. With as much as I love Tyler Bate, I've always had a thing for Trent Seven. I think he, while not really being the poster boy for the UK division or of that tag team, he is the veteran, and I think he's the more charming of the two. He's always smiling, and it just makes me happy. That being said, I think this is going to be probably the best tag team match out of the whole thing, because I think it has the best, the best people in it, like in terms of sheer in-ring skill. Whereas, like, yes, TM61 is on the same page as Mustache Mountain. Some people won't agree. There's a reason TM61 is my favorite. My favorite tag team. Shut up. Just let me have my opinion. Authors of Pain is good, but their strong suit has never been in-ring work. Like, they're just big dudes that fucking hurt you. I think
that's Vince McMahon right there.
Yeah. If you know anything, you will know that Mustache Mountain, one of their members, has been getting punished recently for being mad at WWE, because they haven't used the UK guys enough, and because he already had an indie date scheduled where I think he was gonna like win a championship or something, and the WWE had him, told him, basically pulled him, and he was like, I don't want to. Like, so he was real mad. The WWE has punished him for like the last 2 months. I think he's lost every single match that he's been a part of. So I think the punishment ends. I think the punishment ends, and I think Mustache Mountain gets their deserved win here, which they should, because they're one of, if not the best tag teams in the country. Like, not even just the country, the world. They are that good. And they should move through. Drake, what do you think?
I feel like, from where I'm standing, I feel like these 4 who I'm going to put, I'm going with the Mustache. Okay, I feel like from all the tag teams that they all, I feel like the 2 that really deserves this is TM61 and Mustache Mountain. I feel like those 2 are the 2 teams that deserve it. You can say Street Profit too, but at the same time, I'm not behind them. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not there yet.
That's fine. I wasn't so super keen on them the first time I saw them, because they were still kind of rusty as a tag team. But then, I know you didn't see this, but when Montez Ford did that thing, I was like on board, because I'm like, dude, these guys are so funny. Like, they're just having fun. And I can understand why you're behind Heavy Machinery, because that's one of the best tag team names, honestly, and it fits them so well. Like, they're big dudes.
They really are.
So in my semifinals, I have the Street Profits versus TM61 or TM61 or the Mighty Don't Kneel, whatever you want to call them. They have like so many names. And like I said, it didn't matter whether I chose Street Profits or Heavy Machinery. I was going to put my boys through. They, like we said earlier, they just need the momentum, and beating I don't know how people are gonna react. I think they really need to have a really stellar Authors of Pain match if they're going to get the crowd behind them. Um, Regardless whether they face Street Profits or Heavy Machinery, because if they don't, they'll be going into the finals as the heels. Even though they're not really heels, the crowd will be firmly behind whoever is, either one of Sanity or Mustache Mountain. So they really need to have a really good showing to get the crowd back behind them, like they did back when Thorn got injured.
Yeah.
And Drake, what do you think?
Well, time to get behind them too, because I'm riding this train. I'm riding this along with you, because I think TM61, I think it's their time. I think when they get back, if they have enough momentum, they can go for the champions. I think they can get the champions. I know it's soon. They just got back. I know it's very soon that they did it, but at the same time, we've been waiting for a long time to see them again. And I'm pretty sure if they want, like you said before, if they want injured, they will be the tag team champs, and they will probably have lost the title before.
Yeah, and if not, I think the Authors of Pain still would have probably won that match, but TM61 probably would have had like a comeback thing, and they probably would have done like some underdog story, and they would have taken the titles off of Authors of Pain, and then probably Sanity would have taken the titles off of TM61, and then Team 61 would probably, instead of the Authors of Pain, would probably be the ones going to main at TakeOver.
Yep.
Anyways, over to, sorry, I just looked down at Discord. We're over to Sanity and Mustache Mountain. Now, as said before, I think this is probably going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I think and want the Authors of Pain's send-off match to be them versus Sanity at TakeOver. And so, with that in mind, in a barnstormer of a match, you boys in the Mustache Mountain are going to go through putting my favorite and my third favorite tag team. And you're like, Mustache Mountain's one of the best tag team. Who are they behind? They're behind the Young Bucks and Gallows and Anderson. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
they're the best.
Like, I mean, but the reason I have them tied is because technically Bullet Club, But yeah, I think if this happens, this will probably be the best tag team match of all time in NXT history. If they want to really, really, solidify the future is now, have these two really young teams. I know Trent Seven is, almost 30. And Miller and Thorne are in, I think they're mid to late 20s. I'm not entirely sure.
I think so.
But yeah, this match, if this is the match that they decide to go with, which I think there's one of two options when the match goes through. This is what I want. This match will definitely blow everyone away. It's gonna be so good if this happens.
See, that's a good thing. But I had to go with Sanity because I want the Sanity to hold the tag teams one more time. Like you said, they were above, but I feel like if they hold it one more time, sooner or later WWE's will realize they need to move back up. Need to move up soon or later, and I feel like if Sanity has enough momentum going through these two teams, I feel like they're going to get the Shelby tag team titles.
I don't know. So, the reason I said it could go one of two ways is because I honestly, wholeheartedly think that what they're going with in the semifinals on the right side of the bracket is Sanity versus Mustache Mountain. The entire left side of the bracket is much more stacked than the right side of the bracket. Even though Lorcan and Birch are a good tag team, I don't think they're quite there. I think they're a few years away from really being at the forefront of the tag division.
Yeah.
They made a super huge big deal out of Team 6-1. I think it's going to be Team 61 versus Sanity, TM61 versus Mustache Mountain, or Authors of Pain versus Sanity. I think those are the only three options that are going to happen. And I really hope that Team 61 doesn't get eliminated at the very beginning, because they, like I said, they need the momentum. And with that, they need the momentum. Best match you're probably ever going to get in NXT tag team division is TM61 versus Mustache Mountain. That is probably until their whoever wins is tag team match with inevitably with the Undisputed Era, and I'm gonna say Team 61 gets that done, gets the victory. They go through in a very, very hard fought match against Mustache Mountain. Like I said, they need to have a really, really good match against Authors of Pain. They need to have a really, really good match against Street Profits / Heavy Machinery. I think the Street Profits Heavy Machinery is definitely the match that's most up in the air. Even though you can see Team 61 or Authors of Pain winning, like I said, I really think Team 61 needs the victory. And they need to win this tournament. Like I said, if Bobby Fish is injured, you have this match at TakeOver, just kind of a good match, not a fantastic match. Team 61 loses that match. The Undisputed Era kind of coasts for a couple of months, so that Fish can get healthy. They come back, revisit that rivalry. Team 61, and Team 61 at around Survivor Series finally gets the titles from them, and by then Undisputed Era will have had all three titles, and so you can play that storyline, because it's going to happen. It's 100% going to happen. There's no way we're getting around that. They're gonna hold all three titles, or they're gonna hold both the tag titles and the actual championship at the same time. I firmly believe that you get that out of the way, and then Undisputed Era goes up to main following Survivor Series. Problem solved.
Don't worry, I'm close to win the NXT Women's Championship too. You do the force. Don't worry about that. But like you said, I'm behind. Like, I love Sanity too hot because Eric Young, that's one of my favorite superstars out there. He is probably the most talented.
I'm a huge fan of Big Damo, aka Killian. My boy Big Damo.
He's a good. Sanity is probably one of the best factions that I have seen. Besides the Shield, obviously.
Well, I mean, there's only really three factions. Like, the Wyatt family is dead. There's only really three factions in WWE, which is Balor Club, Sanity, and Undisputed Era. The Shield, sort of, but
you can say Shield because they always broke up. Like, they basically broke up.
Yeah,
Dean Ambrose ain't there. Roman Reigns is doing whatever. It's like,
yeah, they basically don't exist.
Yeah, I feel like TM61. I think they got. I think we're pushing them, but I feel like they need to push after all the things they went through. Being injured, you need to get back off your feet, and I think this is the best way to get up there for you, man.
Yeah.
As much as I love Sanity, you can do it. Sanity can't do it.
Yeah, like I said, I think Authors of Pain are going up after Mania. I think Sanity are probably going up at around Survivor Series. Authors of Pain will probably go to Raw. Sanity will probably go to SmackDown.
Oh, imagine SmackDown and Sanity versus the Usos? Hold up. Vince, book it. You need this.
After the draft, Roman Reigns gets moved over to SmackDown.
Nah, Vince, don't book that. Reigns doesn't need anything.
Not gonna happen.
No.
But yeah, like I said, I don't know how Drake feels, but like I said, I think one of three things is gonna happen. It's gonna be TM61 versus Sanity, TM61 versus Mustache Mountain, or Authors of Pain versus Sanity. Because Authors of Pain and Sanity are kind of like at the top. TM61 and Mustache Mountain are kind of rising up the ranks. So it's either going to be TM61 versus an established tag team, or two not quite established tag teams versus one another, or the top dogs that are basically on the verge of not being top dogs anymore because they're, moving on up onto greener pastures. It's either going to be, an underdog story, two big forces of giant men, even though Eric Young isn't really giant, but two, giant juggernauts of tag teams, beating the hell out of each other, or it's going to be two underdogs, two super talented, smart wrestling tag teams that work together. And me, personally, as a fan, I want to see the smaller, more technical teams fight, because I really like technical, mat-based wrestling. And when I say mat-based, I don't mean like rest holds. I mean like doing a whole bunch of like super high skill, high risk, high reward shit, which is what both teams are gonna do.
Also, I feel like Authors of Pain, it could be Authors of Pain versus Mustache Mountain.
I really don't think that's the option. I think in order for Mustache Mountain to make it to the finals, TM61 has to be Authors of Pain. I think that's the only way they make it to the finals, because it makes, like, I really, really hope that they go with TM61 versus Mustache Mountain, and then, because Mustache Mountain, they're gonna go do something in the UK probably. You have, like I said, the send-off match for Authors of Pain, you have it be their biggest rival. I think it makes the most sense, because their biggest rival has been Sanity. So, I think that makes the most sense. I think that's the smartest thing to do. Like I said, TM61 isn't going to win at TakeOver New Orleans, but they can win at, I forget which TakeOver it is, but the TakeOver that is, like, Survivor Series.
TakeOver Dallas?
I think that's Dallas, yeah.
We had to look at it. I'll put it in the comments. It is.
But yeah.
Because I don't remember.
I want to thank you, Drake, for coming so that I could be a little biased. I'm glad that you're putting Team 61 through like I am.
They need it, honestly. They need, like, if Vince doesn't do that, that means also, like, I can understand if he put Authors up there, but I really would rather have Team 61. I think people are going to get behind that real fast.
Yeah,
I feel like it.
Like all they need is like a match. All they need is matches against like actual tag teams, not like people from the Performance Center that are just gonna get squashed in 5 minutes.
I mean, look at the SmackDown.
Fair enough.
Brothers of Bludgeon, or what?
Bludgeon Brothers, boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just. Like, they're a much better tag team, and when given a team that can actually go with them in the ring, I think they're going to get the crowd behind them. But the crowd is going to be firmly behind Mustache Mountain if Mustache Mountain goes through. The crowd is going to be firmly behind Sanity if Sanity goes through. And
maybe Street Profits? Maybe. Like, there could be a possibility for them.
I mean, it could be a possibility. I think the Street Profits are probably a year away from sniffing at the title.
I think so too.
Just because I think Tino Sabatelli and Riddick Moss, they're going to take the titles off of TM61. I firmly believe that. War Machine, maybe. But I don't think War Machine is going to be in the title picture as fast as the Undisputed Era was.
I don't know about War Machine. I think War Machine if Vince does it right, well, okay, if he does it right, I can see a lot of the manifestation with War Machine that just
I
like
mean, the biggest
obscenity.
issue I have is that that War Machine is basically the same thing as Heavy Machinery.
Maybe they're not going to. Maybe they're going to. I mean, they could just like skip NXT. AJ
No, they're
Styles
signed. They're signed NXT.
this sucks.
Yeah, because there was 3 big signees. There's Candice LeRae, Ricochet, and War Machine, like all at the same time within the same week.
Then EC30. Ooh,
Oh yeah, EC3
okay.
too. Never mind. There was 4 big signees.
Book event. EC3 needs it. EC3 is the best. I love
Yeah,
him.
EC3 is probably gonna be your next heel champion. Honestly,
He can be healed. He can be a face.
he is
Man, that
not
boy.
gonna be a face. He's 100% gonna be heel because that's what he did in TNA, and he was kind of for a long time he was. Even though it kind of started sinking, a lot of people were tuning in for EC3 and no one else.
Oh, I did. But that's like saying Bobby Roode is a better heel. I agree with that. I don't think he's a good face.
Yeah, I think after they do another draft, which I think is gonna be like a few months after WrestleMania, they're gonna do another draft.
Black Rush.
Yeah, Backlash. They're gonna do another draft, and I think wherever Bobby Roode ends up, he's gonna be a heel there because they have to. I think he's probably gonna stay on SmackDown because I don't think they're taking the U.S. title off of him. But I think, so I don't know how they're gonna do it in storyline, but he's basically gonna turn heel because they have to. Boring face Bobby Roode is not.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he could be a face on his own, but like
I
he
think
when
people
it's
saw him
scripted promos, like it just doesn't come off as genuine. Like, he has no edge to his character. AJ Styles is neither heel nor face. He's just a good wrestler. He
Yeah,
does
he
not
can be
care
both.
about. He literally doesn't care about anyone but himself. But
It's him. So I think this is the end of the video.
yes, it is. We're just bullshitting. So thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, Drake.
No problem.
We've been rambling for we've been recording for almost 40 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. All that lovey-dovey bullshit. Please show some love. Show some love to Drake. If I remember,
Yes, you do.
if I remember, I'll put your channel link in the description. I probably won't remember because I'm a terrible YouTuber.
Damn right, everyone.
Rip. So once again, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.